Coach Slevcove and I are back for another episode of Cypress Sports Weekly. This is such a cool time of year. Coach, you and I were talking about it the other day at the soccer game as we looked around the fields and we see winter sports kind of ending, but the fields are covered. You got spring sports. We had baseball going. We had track out there. We had softball scrimmaging. In addition to that, we had wrestling from the winter practicing outside. We had cheer going in the gym. We had the soccer teams and games going on. This is such a great time of year as we get ready to transition over to the spring. It's awesome, right?
Yeah, every facility is being used, every field's being used as winter sports finish up and spring sports get ready to go. And that's not something you always saw over the years, but as rules have evolved and coaches and teams are allowed to practice year-round, certainly those spring sports get fired up after the holidays, and it's quite a crossover with a lot of athletes out there and every field and every facility getting practiced on.
Yeah, when we see the fields crowded, with kids out there and participating in sports, I mean, this is what we live for as athletic directors. We don't always get that one-to-one connection with the kids, but when we can look out on the fields and see all those students participating in athletics, and we have a huge number, most likely the highest number in our district of athletes who participate. It's just amazing to see. It's so fun to see all that. So this week, the last week of winter, last week of league play, we got some tight races going into that last week. Some things can happen that can adjust some of those. And I know you're going to break it all down for us. So give us that breakdown. What do we got from last week?
All right. Well, here's the rundown. Boys basketball tied for second place now. Got a couple victories. We're tied in second at 6-3, along with Tustin. If we finish with the victory and Tustin finishes with the victory on Thursday night, we play Kennedy. If we both win, we go in as second place team along with Tustin. We're both in a different division in CIF. So CIF allows each team to go in as a second place finisher. So hopefully we'll get a nice draw there. Hopefully we'll finish it with the victory over Kennedy and get that second place seed going into the playoffs. Our girls basketball team continue to play well. Their only two losses in league are those close ones to Crean Lutheran. So currently 7-2 in league. The register is giving us some respect, 15th in the county, 12th in CIF in our division. Second place is secured for our girls. So they're having a nice season. Hopefully they can finish strong this week and into the playoffs. Boys soccer, here's one that a whole lot of things can happen in the Empire League coming down to the last game of the season. Our team is 4-4-1 in league play. We're 2 points ahead of Crean Lutheran. We play second place Kennedy, and Crean plays first place Valencia. Depending on what happens, we could have a different first place team in our league after tomorrow, and we can have a different third place team after Thursday's final game. So bottom line is, if Cypress wins, we're in the playoffs. If we tie and Crean wins, we'll lose out on that playoff spot. So it's in our hands. We got to take care of business.
Yeah, that's an exciting time. And we got Coach Mora and player Brandon Ramos here today to talk about that as well. So it'll be exciting to hear from them once we get to that. Continue.
Yeah, should be a great finish. Girls soccer, we clinched league last week with our victory over Pacifica. So very nice for the girls to sweep Pacifica, who's won the league the last couple years. We take the crown back from them with the victory on Friday, 3-1 over at Pacifica. Last night, a little bit of a roadblock had to come from behind to tie Valencia 3-3, but the girls are still undefeated in league. They take on Kennedy at home in their final game. Girls water polo beat up on Kennedy last week, 17-2. Our girls are really playing well. We got a great senior class and some underclassmen really stepping up. So girls take on Valencia yesterday, which would have been Wednesday. Hopefully they brought home a victory to secure that league title outright. Right, I already have part of it clinched, even if we lose, but hopefully we'll take it outright. CIF has us ranked 8th in our division, Division 4 for girls water polo. So hopefully we can make a nice run into the playoffs. Boys wrestling last week participated in the CIF duels. We made it to the semifinals, so won a few matches. lost to Milliken, who's a really good program. We didn't quite have the depth to compete with them. Milliken plays in the finals, wrestles in the finals Wednesday night. The girls lost in the first round to Walnut in their CIF duels. But wrestling, the season isn't over. Now we go back to league finals to qualify individuals into the playoffs. So we get individual champions for our league, and then those individuals go to the wrestling playoffs for CIF individuals, then to masters, and then hopefully to state. And then this week we also have our competition cheer team in the CIF championships out at MLK High School in Riverside. Our team, back-to-back champs. Hopefully we'll get a three-peat here. Didn't compete last year, so we won in 2019. We won in 2020. This year we're competing in the Division III co-ed competition. So we have females and male on the team. So hopefully we'll bring home another title.
Yeah, if you plan on going out there, they do say to make sure you understand that you're only going to get in when your team competes. And there is a $5 parking fee at MLK as well. And then quickly following those performances, the awards will happen right around 6:15 if you're down there. So you won't have to wait long to hear and find out whether or not we're the champs, but it's exciting. You know, playoffs start next week. Those indoor events are going to be sold on GoFan. Boys soccer and basketball will get started on February 11th. Maybe, depending on how it shakes out with boys soccer, we could have a wild card game before that. But likely on February 11th, girls soccer and basketball will start right after that on Saturday the 12th. And it'll continue on in the following week if we're doing well. So hopefully that'll be the case. So get that info out to the people that need it, and we'll see you, hopefully out at those events. All right. Well, now we welcome head boys soccer coach Freddy Mora and player Brandon Ramos to the program. Welcome, guys.
Hey, fellas. Well, thanks for having us. Very excited to do this and, show our Cypress colors what the soccer program is about. Thank you.
How you doing, Coach? Thank you for having me here. It's really an honor to be here.
Awesome. Well, Coach Mora, you're a little familiar with the program. You were an assistant coach before becoming our head coach last year. How's that transition been in becoming the guy in charge of the program?
Of course, it's always a slight different transition, being just in charge of one team to now being in charge of all three teams, being in charge of the head program. Just trying to change that culture, bringing in that soccer sense of culture that I've been brought up to playing at a high level and trying to bring it over here. That way these young athletes can understand the true sense of proper development in soccer.
Yeah, our boys program has had some good years, some down years, and certainly you're trying to bring that level of consistency up across the board year in, year out. And that's tough to do in soccer. It's a real physical sport, especially on the boys' side. What do you stress in practice for our kids to be physical yet not get penalized for it?
Yeah, soccer is very physical. Yes, it is. One of the biggest things that I do teach in our development is practice how you play. That's huge. Being physical is you got to understand how to actually be physical and play during the game of process, just like in practice. That's why the boys out there have been playing clean soccer, not playing the term of that dirty soccer. That's a huge factor for me. It's just practice how you play, bringing that same high intensity level game speed in your training session as expected in the game.
Yeah, you touched on it. I think you've come a long way, and our program has come a long way in that area. We look much more disciplined and unselfish on the field, especially this season, really making some giant strides in that correct direction. So which players do you think are leading that charge in those areas of unselfishness and discipline?
Biggest role is you got to give it to your captains. That's the reason why our team chooses the captains, because they're pretty much our role models. They're pretty much our, typically our seniors, to keep that sense of line going for your team. Discipline, that's huge. That's huge. Again, that culture changing of having that line of respect from in the pitch and off the pitch, from being as a coach to being an athlete. I got to give our role to our captains, of course, Brandon Ramos, to Rafe, to Jaden Roberts. that are controlling that line of the team. And of course, the rest of the whole team to motivate each other and learn that line of that process.
Yeah, our kids need to buy into what you want to do, what you want to see out there on the field. Certainly soccer, you want to control the ball, possess the ball, keep it on your half of the field. How has our team improved in those areas, and what should we look for when we're watching our kids play?
Yeah, that's huge. Soccer, it's a big role philosophy of mine, which you learn every day. Anybody could be a coach, but you got to learn every day. You got to learn, and that's one of my philosophies is possession game. You got to learn how to have a possession game in soccer. Football, the term of kickball, there's no kickball. This ain't kickball, and that's one of my pet peeves in soccer. I hate seeing the ball going up in the air. This is football. So possession is a huge role. This is high school, so everyone's level is in a different place. You gotta learn how to keep that chemistry and have those players that know that possession game and feed it off everybody else. That way they understand that sense, that same level of sense of soccer. So yeah, possession, that is huge.
So you're mentioning, different levels, and I know, as kids move up through the program, maybe in even in youth stuff or club, their development before they get to you is gigantic. So how are you developing the younger kids as well as working with clubs to create that winning culture?
And they're right there coming in the young athletes now, it's different than what it was. A lot of these young athletes coming in now, they're training 5-6 days a week. So we got to stay in that same level. We got to stay in that same pace, and we got to let the community and all those schools and clubs know Cypress is running towards that same culture. We're going to be training harder, training to 5 days, 6 days, whatever time we can and we have, and work through that process. And the biggest thing is starting from the bottom too. Our freshman team, they're killing it this year, one of the first times in a while, and bringing the right coaches, bringing the right philosophy in. It goes a long way. You want to have that good taste right from the start for the program to continue and go strong all through your JV, through your varsity level.
How fun is it to get to coach your own son as well?
It's always fun. It's always something special. But the biggest things, I think, it's we learn to turn on that switch. We learn to respect each other and support each other. And that's one of the biggest things. We learn how to turn on and off that switch from being father to being coach. So I think that's what works a lot with us, to turn that relationship off. There you go.
Yeah, we got to play the right role and the proper role at the proper time. Yeah. And I think you're doing a great job of that. And little Freddy's just a sophomore. He still had a few more years here, and the program's trending in the right direction. What are your long-term goals for our program?
Changing that culture. Like I said, and you said it yourself, it's been different coaches coming in and out, and trying to get that strong philosophy, that strong culture of soccer and football in the pitch. That's pretty much where we're headed to, changing every level. If you see all top schools out there from soccer, which it is a tough sport, all levels are succeeding and heading high. And that's what we want. We want each level to aim high, to work high, and feed off each other. Of course, priority is varsity. It feeds off everybody else because everybody wants to be part of that winning culture, part of that philosophy of football, of not playing kickball and learning the proper development of soccer.
Well, Coach, we're excited about what you're doing, what's going on in our program. And today you brought one of your most energetic, I would say, players with you here today, Brandon Ramos. Brandon, you do have a lot of enthusiasm. What does your enthusiasm, where does your enthusiasm come from? And how do you keep that energy during a game?
I think the enthusiasm I have, it's kind of like something I've had my whole life. I'm the youngest child, so that's kind of like all the attention goes on them. So I'm kind of, seeking that attention sometimes. But during the games, I think something that motivates me a lot to keep it up and keep the energy flowing is just seeing my team kind of look upon to me to see if we're going to set the tone, if we're going to go harder, go slower, slow the tone down, So it is kind of like I see people that follow my lead, and I got to understand that in the soccer level.
Yeah, Brandon, attention always seems to be on you, whether you're in class or on campus or out on the soccer field, you're always in the middle of the action, always around the ball when it counts. Is there a specific thing you look for or a place you want to be when we're on offense to get into that action?
Yeah, I definitely want to be the one making the run. I definitely like the ball being played to me, and I get the easy part, just scoring. But yeah, I really do enjoying the 1v1s.
Now, Brandon, scoring, a lot of times scoring comes from corner kicks. And I've always kind of wondered, in as coach would say, football, in soccer, I've always kind of wondered, corner kicks are such a big part of the game. And a lot of times they're kind of feared, right? Nobody wants to give up a corner kick. You're fearful of what's going on. What makes them such an important part of the game, and how do you excel at it?
I think that it's super overlooked. The corners is super overlooked. I think if you make the right play, if you make the right run, it's just an easy tap in goal. And a lot of teams don't realize that. So if they lack it, then we can counter on that. And I think what I do during corners, I usually stand on top of the box, and any ball that's rolling out, just smash it.
Well, it's working for you, Brandon. You got 9 goals this year, 6 assists, 17 goals for your career so far. But what's one thing you'd still like to accomplish before high school career is over?
Becoming the offensive MVP for sure. Last year I tied with Freddy, and he got it. And it's all friendly sportsmanship, competitiveness, and probably breaking 20, hit 20.
Very nice. Always good to have goals. Being able to do that, maybe make a run in CIF, all should be goals that you guys have as you guys move that program forward. Well, Brandon, at this point, we're going to do some rapid fire questions. So I'm going to ask some questions quickly. Don't overthink them. Whatever comes to your head, just spit it out quickly, and we'll move on to the next one. You ready?
Sounds good.
All right. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Do you want to score the winning goal or prevent the winning goal from being scored?
Score it.
So I hear you want to go to film school possibly. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oof. I'm gonna have to give it's a series, a Step Up series. It's like a dancing movie.
Oh, a dancing movie. All right. Are you quite the dancer as well?
Sometimes I got little moves in me, here and there.
Nice. Well, maybe this plays into the next question. What's one thing you'll always remember about Coach Mora? I assume it's not dancing, but I'll let you answer.
I think he's a really good coach. I think he's very friendly. A lot of players open up to him really quickly, and they put his trust in him quickly.
Very cool. Well, you make your own clothes, I hear, as well. What would you call your style?
Just streetwear. I think just any kind of clothes you could wear on the street. Kids seem to love it, and yeah.
What's your best post-game dessert?
Oof. I'm gonna have to go with the tres leches. It's like a cake. It's really my heritage.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's delicious. What teammate is the most mentally tough?
Mentally tough? Cole Kim. It's so hard to come around, but hey, I love that guy. But yeah.
What's the most important thing for you in being successful in soccer?
A lot of dedication. I think if you put the dedication into it, the work in it, I think there's no possible outcome besides going up.
Very good. Well, fellas, thanks again for being on the show. We appreciate you guys being here. We're going to be back next week with more athlete and coach interviews. So don't forget to share this information on social media. Support the athletes, support the coaches. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.